and that's why we've wanted to sign him long-term. Bucky is back with us, but Acho, are you buying the Cowboys aren't nervous about signing Dak to a big deal?
Fellas, you ever remember how you're supposed to give somebody criticism, right? You're supposed to start with something nice, then in the middle, you speak the truth, tell them what you really want to tell them, and then you end with something nice as well. Like, that's how you're supposed to deliver a rough message. That's the rule of thumb. See, Stephen Jones gave us the inverse. He started with the lie, then he gave us the truth, then he ended with the lie. We're not nervous to sign Dak. Stop lying, Stephen Jones, Marcellus, and Bucky. The Cowboys are definitely nervous to sign Dak Prescott. I'll give you 3 reasons why. The first reason, he's coming off of an injury. Regardless of how young he is, regardless of how non-injury prone he is, regardless of how strong and tough he is, you're coming off an injury. That in and of itself is rooms for being nervous. The second reason, within your own division, you've seen a quarterback same age as Dak Prescott, show just as much, if not more promise than Dak Prescott on the cusp of winning an MVP 2-3 years ago, that is Carson Wentz, and now fall off a cliff and become benched. That's the second reason. The third reason is you know firsthand, Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones, all the players that y'all pay, they forget how to play. You saw it with DeMarcus Lawrence. You saw it with Zeke. I'll remind y'all, world, if we got the full screen, as soon as the Cowboys players get paid, they instantly stop performing. DeMarcus Lawrence, he had given you what, 30, 15, 25-odd sacks in his first couple performances in his first 2 years. Then he gets paid. All of a sudden, after getting paid, you see 5 sacks, then you see 4.5 this year. Then you got Zeke. I really don't even got to show y'all, because if y'all got eyes, y'all been watching it, but Zeke leads the NFL in rushing. And then he falls off and falls off and falls off as soon as he gets paid. So that's the third reason they're nervous. They've seen Carson Wentz be a baller, fall off. They don't want to pay another player and have them fall off. And he's coming off an injury. Fellas, all them reasons, good reasons to be nervous.
Woo! You talking about lies. You just told a big lie, and I know why. A body language expert would tell me that you were lying the entire time. Because as soon as I asked you the question, you know the first thing you did? You went like this, start moving like here. I was like, what's wrong with Acho? And then the lies started to come out of your mouth. You're crazy, Acho. Yes, of course, Dak Prescott deserves the big deal. And they're not nervous about giving it to him. They've already offered him a $35 million deal. The only issue is they want to be more committed to him than he wants to commit to them. And Acho's going to try and misconstrue that as, oh, they're nervous. No, they're only nervous because Dak's trying to get a 4-year deal and get out of there and reset his value, where they're like, no, we want to lock you in to 5 years because we know how much we love you. If you can't take them on their words and you can't take them on their actions, then what can you take them on? Acho, you keep bringing up points that makes no sense because Stephen Jones went out there and already told you, our issues are in our negotiations with Dak, wanting to be more committed in terms of the length. That's simple as that. It's not about the length of the contract to Dak as much as it is about the actual amount and length to Dak. Those two things cannot be separated. Please stop trying to do that. That's a misconstruing of this situation. So I look at Dak, who is oh my God, 10th most passing yards in NFL history through his first 69 games, and he's 7th in career passing rating. And you're trying to tell me that this is not a guy that's justified the amount of money that they've already offered him? That is more than any of us even anticipated, and the price tag continues to go up. They're not nervous about signing Dak.
There's nothing to be nervous about. I think, if anything, they're more confident now that they've seen their team completely implode now that he has been out of the lineup. This year, Dak Prescott leads the league in 400-yard games, and he only played 5 games. He still has the most 400-yard games in the league, and he hasn't played in almost 2 months. And then when I look at this team, by every metric, he has proven to the Cowboys that he is the right guy for the job. When they wanted him to play like a game manager, those first 3 years, he logged on and got 32 wins. When they've asked him to do more, hey, what about your individual statistics? Last year, he went for 4,900 yards. This year, he was on pace for more than 6,000 passing yards. I think it's really clear and apparent Dak Prescott is the right guy. He's the right guy for them. They miss him. We saw this team that was hanging by a thread early in the year completely fall apart. I think now more than ever, they realize that number 4 is the right guy to be the face of the franchise going forward.
Can we get a 3 box, please? I'd love to talk to these lovely elder statesmen in congruence. Bucky, remind me, sir, where did you go to college, please? Did you go to college?
University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill.
Okay, UNC. Okay, so then I'll defer again to Marcellus as far as educational questions.
Oh, come on. Texas doesn't even stack up.
Marcellus, when Dak Prescott started and finished games, the Cowboys were 1-3. So if they were 1-3 over the first 4 games with Dak Prescott as a starter, if you were to take that out for 16 games, what would the Cowboys' record have been?
Come on, Marcellus.
I ain't helping them. 4 wins.
I know the answer. I know the answer.
Yeah,
they would be 4-12.
Yeah.
If Dak Prescott were to stay healthy, they were on pace to go 4-12.
On pace.
The Cowboys, what are they now? 3-9. Okay. So it looks like they're on pace to go 4-12. That's weird. It's just so weird. So if Dak Prescott was going to stay healthy, they were on pace to go 4-12. And without Dak Prescott, they're still going to go 4-2. That's crazy to me. Let me get to my point, fellas. The other reason the Cowboys are nervous is because, Bucky Brooks, you don't just do something to do something. Let me tell you, Marcellus, the only reason I wish I grew up in your generation at times was because things were a little more and people were a little more trustworthy, right? In this day and age, sometimes people want to get married just to say they get married. They want to get married because they just want to check the box. You know, I got my job, I bought my house. I guess now it's time to check that marriage box to say I did it. Well, in the NFL, you don't buy or pay a franchise quarterback franchise long-term money just to say you did it. Jerry Jones doesn't just want to say, well, we got a franchise quarterback too. We're keeping up with you, Patrick Mahomes. No. You pay a franchise quarterback and you sign a franchise quarterback without any doubt in your mind with the goal of winning a championship, a Super Bowl, maybe an NFC championship at the minimum. That is why you do it, not just to say you did it. So if you're the Cowboys and you realize, man, even with Dak Prescott, as great as he is, we were going to go 4-12. Without him, we're about to go 4-12. Even with Dak Prescott, as great as he was last year, no injury, we went 8-8, missed the playoffs. Without him, we're still not about to make the playoffs. Okay, but it was Jason Garrett's fault. Well, no, because the team Jason Garrett went to, they're about to make a playoffs with their backup quarterback. So even with Dak Prescott, as good as he is, we're now going to pay him long-term money just to do what? Now, it's no slight on Dak Prescott. We just have to be honest with the fact that you have to be nervous to sign Dak Prescott. That's it.
Get him, Buck.
We have to be nervous to sign Dak Prescott. I find that funny, right? Because I didn't hear you express worry or concern about Deshaun Watson getting paid, but here we are. Deshaun Watson is leading a poor football team, but he's playing at a high level, much like Dak Prescott was playing at a high level. Deshaun Watson has led his team to a championship game, nor a Super Bowl, but he got his money, which is up there, not quite at Pat Mahomes' level, but close. And when I look at the numbers that Deshaun Watson had put up, his numbers are comparable to what Dak Prescott has put up. And I would even argue that Dak Prescott has been more impressive from a production standpoint. So I don't really know, because every time we play this football scrimmage, you tend to move the goalpost. And I can't determine, is it wins? Is it numbers? I just want to know, what am I evaluating the quarterback off of? Because when I look at my quarterback having to play with historically one of the worst defenses that we have ever seen trot out there, I just don't know how he can play both sides. Do you want to play both ways?
Bucky.
I just don't know what you want Dak Prescott to be able to do.
No, let me tell you, Marcellus and Bucky, because this is for both of y'all. Y'all always accuse me of moving the goalpost. That's not the case. I just move further back, and I still knock it right down the uprights. It's not the goalpost that I'm moving. I'm just moving myself further back, making my takes even more difficult, and they still right between both of them joints, and the rest looking like this. It's not the goalpost, Bucky Brooks. Goalpost is staying right there. Your boy just got a leg.
Man, that's a damn shame that Acho would move the goalposts, and he ain't even that strong, so them goalposts weren't put in properly. Acho, you have moved the goalposts a lot of times. Let's just be real about it. You talk about Jerry Jones should have some anxiety because he's overpaid other guys. So, Acho, do you have anxiety of buying a new home because your friends overpaid for theirs? Like you're trying to make a comparison that makes no sense in this situation. You look at those situations, you learn from them, and you do better. And guess what doing better is? Looking at Dak and his production and giving him what he deserves. You move the goalposts and start talking about health. Oh, he's hurt now and durability. I don't know what he's going to be when he returns. What about Carson Wentz? Carson Wentz missed 13 of his 70 games, but still got a monster deal before this season started. Dak missed 0 games before this season started, but you still wanted to move the goalposts from health and overpaying to now, let's talk about production. And Bucky caught you there because he brought up Deshaun Watson. And when you bring up Watson, it's interesting that Dak Prescott, since 2019, because I took out the early part of Dak's career, because I know you, Acho, you always say, look at his rookie year, and he won 13 games, and throw them numbers out. Okay, let's throw them out. Deshaun Watson versus Dak Prescott since 2019. Dak Prescott, more passing